Alright, welcome back to our automotive visualization tutorial. This is part 3, and in this part we'll take a look at shading the car. Okay, so before we start with that, we need to check a few things. First of all, there's remnants of the plate which we deleted, so let's just quickly get rid of it. Next thing, I did go to the official Porsche website and I found measurements for the car. So it's always good practice to check if the car matches at least roughly in size. So the length here says it's 5 meters and 49 millimeters. So let's input it here. And let's take a look from the side. And indeed it seems to match pretty well. So our car is up to scale, and that's good to know. Okay, so before we start shading, let's just resave it as a new version so that this is our cleaned asset version and the next will be our shading version. Alright, and another thing that I wanted to talk about is before you start shading, you should always find at least a few references of photo references of your car so that you can refer to it when figuring out certain materials or looking at some details. So I went to Google Images, just type in the name of the car, and I've downloaded a few high resolution images of the car itself, as well as few details like the headlight, rear light. This is rear shot. So this is the version we will be doing. Okay, so once this is done, let's just set up our scene for shading. Okay, so obviously first thing we need to set the right render, therefore Corona. This is going to be exterior, so definitely just path tracing for cars. And since there's not going to be much bouncing of the light, but we will be probably using some slight depth of field, let's cut GI versus AA balance down to half, so 8. Okay, save the scene again, just to be sure. And let's just create some plane. 10 by 10 meters will do. Open this. These are the current materials. Oh, let's first actually get some nice layout. So I want to have viewport space here. Interactive render will be here, and my material editor would usually be on the other monitor, but in this case, as this is tutorial, you will need to see it too, so I will have to position it like this. Right, so this is gonna be shaded view. Make sure I have only one light because I want to see normal orientation. This is going to be the interactive when it comes to it. Let's show our poly count. Let's save again. And we can finally start shading. So this is gonna be car materials. Let's create a new tab, and this is gonna be scene. Okay, obviously one of the first thing we need is to have some sort of environment lighting. It's good to pick some neutral lighting for the look development and just basic shading so it works in every scene. It's better to pick some lighting, some IGR map that's not too unusual, too crazy. So enable material override, grab new Corona material, clay. Let's make it darker, 100. Okay, this is gonna be our clay. Let's get bitmap, and what I will be using is Illuminated Tools, which is a set of low resolution HDRI with a high dynamic range. You can use any kind of neutral HDRI you want, but Illuminated Tools is good in a sense that let me show you. The guy who sells them, he made a lot of HDRIs from different scenarios that are great. You will always find something roughly matching your environment if you don't have HDRI that you had to take, for example, on set where you were shooting something. So they're not useful for like directly visible environment or like backplates, but they are all the various lighting conditions. It's called Illuminated Tools. Just Google them, and he sells this huge set of HDRI for like $100. It pays off perfectly. So this is what I recommend, and I'm gonna use, for example, some afternoon mood, something simple, or like this is interior, so we are looking for something that looks quite neutral. Let's try this one first. We can always try others later. Plug into environment slot. Disable the filtering for it to be faster. We do not need filtering in the moment. Use environment background. Save the scene. And fire up our Corona Interactive. And we are obviously missing a few things, so let's just quickly fix the path to our textures, which is on the desktop in the car project, in the car model textures. Okay, close this down. And did we actually enable the material override? I don't think we did. So let's, oh, it's enabled, but it doesn't have any material. Let's fix that real quick. And unlock our viewport. That's better. So this does look like kind of neutral lighting. Maybe there's a bit too much of the sunlight. So let's maybe browse for some slightly different one. Well, this is actually not bad, so let's stick with this. Just rotate it slightly so we don't have our light coming from perfect front of the car. Let's see where the shadow is heading. Okay, and this is gonna be our neutral shading environment. We should try to always sort of match the brightness of the gray color in our material editor to the brightness of the gray color in the render, so that we do not have any nasty surprises later on, that we, for example, worked in different exposure and made our materials accidentally too dark or too bright. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slightly increase highlight compression and contrast. That's because when we are usually matching photos, those photos have already some slight amount of camera post-processing applied on them. So when we are reproducing some photography, we should always have at least a little bit of tone mapping to have materials better matching. So I'm just gonna increase contrast to 2.5, highlight compression to like 1.5, and slightly brighter exposure to like 0.25. So we still keep the brightness about right. Maybe filmic shadows to 0.5. Okay. Yeah, I guess this is a good base. So let's set our field of view to something more reasonable. Save the scene. Okay. And finally, after about 10 minutes of messing with our car in our shading tutorial, we can finally get to the shading. Okay. Let's open our render settings and turn off the material override. Make sure our clay is applied to the ground at least. And let's make it even darker, 64. Let's pick our first material, which is car body, and isolate it. Take a look at our reference, and we want to do this kind of dark gray metallic, almost black metallic car paint. It looks too black here, but I guess it's because the contrast is a bit overdone on this photo. So grab Corona material, grab Corona blend material, layer material I mean. Let's call this car paint. I'm just going to slightly bump up the exposure so it has slightly more punch. Let's just save our scene again. It's kind of a habit to just hit Ctrl S all the time, but it's getting too time expensive, so I have to stop doing it. Assign car paint, ignore this. And now this is gonna be CP base as a base layer. And let's get one more material. This is gonna be mirror, which is completely zero diffuse, full reflection, and turned off Fresnel. This is gonna be our coat. And now I'm going to add fall off. Set to Fresnel 1.45, let's say, as mask 0. Okay, that looks fine. So now let's again take a look here. It's pretty dark, so zero diffuse. Let's say 2.4 for the Fresnel for the start, and let's play with the glossiness. Okay, this looks like some kind of material look that we see on the most of the photos. This one looks like it has a lot less flaky material, so I'm not really sure at this point if I want to do car paint flakes. Probably yes. Let's make them. Okay, that means we need another bitmap. We want a car paint flakes normal map, which we want to filter just slightly. And we want a car paint flakes mask, which we want to filter a bit more. So this is gonna go here, this is gonna go here, and we want another mirror material, which will be mapped with flakes. And let's get Corona normal map. Plug this to the layer 0. Plug this to the mask of layer 0. And display it on our mesh. Let's add a quick box mapping. These are way too big flakes, so let's do let's do 0.1. We have now some flaking going on, and now we need to decrease its contribution so they show up just a little bit. Maybe increase the filtering actually. Filter them out just a bit more. Oh, that's too much. Now let's go back to the references. This is actually way too strong, so bump here. .5 seems like a reasonable value. Let's increase their contribution slightly so we see what's going on. Let's take a look here. Oh, that's actually way too much. Okay, this looks like something I'm happy with. So I would call it more or less done. Our car paint looks nice from most of the angles, so we can go get to the next material. Our body material will go away. Let's sort this one. Let's go to our scene materials and let's just check out how many materials we'll be doing. Okay, black. This is our black holdout. So this one is super simple. Just current material with no diffuse, no anything. select the black holdout, let's call it holdout, delete this, put this here. Calipers, those are brakes. If you haven't watched PBR shading tutorial, you should do so now, because that explains even more basics of the material creation. So I will be using that approach described in that tutorial here. Brakes yellow. Let's get this color, plug it into diffuse, select by material. Okay, apply this, and let's make the materials ever so slightly glossy. So like 0.8. Okay, this is done. Maybe the yellow is a bit more punchy than it needs to be. Okay, let's sort our materials. So this is a mess. I want to have my new materials here. This is car paint. This is sort of metal too. Holdout will be here. What is this? Tire. What is this? This is tire bitmap. Okay, so let's decrease the filtering. Let's select all the tires. Get rid of this. And let's get current material. Tires. Let's plug in this into the diffuse. Assign it to all our wheels. Let's take one wheel. Actually, let's make it brighter. This is too dark, so this is a bit more reasonable. Reflection to 1 because PBR shading. And let's add a little bit of wear to the tires. So let's just go to scratchy stains, grab something generic like this, and map reflection glossiness with it. So we have some slight hints of structure in there. Maybe too glossy. So again, let's first see how the texture actually maps on this. Okay, so this one's box mapping. Set to, what is this? This is, yeah, okay, so this will be map channel 2, and so will be this, so we don't mess with the mapping. Copy, paste instanced, paste instanced, paste instanced. Oh, I just collapse it. Okay, and let's make it a bit more rough. So let's say 0.6, 0.7, 0.75. Yeah, I guess that looks nice. And let's also use this as a bump map to get a little bit more of the detail in there. So this is tires. Oh, autosave. Let's just give it a second for autosave. Okay, so let's sort this one out, and let's call these tires done, more or less. What's next? Logo. So again, current material. Let's reload this. Check this out. It's a logo. The logo, I have a suspicion, is like golden, so let's make this more of metallic material. This means it won't be diffuse. Diffuse will be 0. This will go to the reflection color. Reflection will go to 1. And let's decrease glossiness to 0.65 maybe. And use this also as a bump map. And I was stupid enough to delete the material, so let's find it here. Logo. There we go. I first need to select my material, apply the new logo, delete the old one, and we have nice, somewhat shiny logo. Could be better, there is a bit of shading baked in, I'm afraid, but if I maybe decrease the bump, we should see some highlight here and there, at least. Okay, so this logo, it's metal, so it will go here where all the other metals are. Save our scene. Let's go to the next material. Black M, which is black metal, which will be super simple because it's painted metal. So just create a material, metal, paint it black. Let's give it nice black color, darker. And that's it. That's all we really want. Black metal. And let's put it where all the metal materials are, over here. Alright, and the next one is brakes. So reload this, and this is the circular pattern. Okay, that's all we really need. Create material, let's call it metal brakes. Again, 0 diffuse, 1 reflection, let's say 10. Let's take this, reduce filtering slightly. Did I again delete the material? Of course I did, so let's get it back. Brakes, there we go. Let's first select all the brake discs. Let's map reflection glossiness. That's way too much contrast. Okay, that looks better. That looks like something like brake discs. So again, hide all input slots, and here are all our metals. Plate, we deleted that, so we can delete this silver. Let's select this. This is silver. Let's check out silver here, which kind of looks like chrome. So I guess let's make chrome and call it silver, or let's make our chrome a bit darker and silver make like mirror, perfect mirror material. So silver, 0, 1, 25. You know what, let's make something interesting actually. I don't know how realistic will it be, but let's make something that just looks shiny. So this will be silver base. And let's make this shiny like this. Take it here and let's make mirror, or take mirror rather. Let's borrow this fall off, increase this to like 2 and use it like a mask. Maybe 2.6. This could be something that looks super shiny, so let's see how it works out. All right, let's try to go with this. So just sort these materials quick. Silver, delete, chrome. Now chrome is the easiest one because it's just chrome. There's nothing that could go wrong with that. Let's give it just nudge of glossiness, so it's not perfect. And again, as most of our metals, it will go here. Just check it out. Yep, everything looks like nice chrome. All right, interior, that will be like generic dark reflective material, slightly brighter, so 16, 1.6, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.5, let's say. Select by material, slap everything on top of it. It's maybe way too bright, like this. This is sort of rubbery material, so it will go down here. And let's get back outside. Save our scene. Okay, red. Now this is what we talked about previously, which I have suspicion is not actually red material, but rather just chrome. Let's take a look what is here. Yes, I'm fairly confident that's chrome. If it isn't, then my bad, but let's just assume it is. So slap chrome material on it. And that's it pretty much. Delete red. Black M, which was our black metal, that's already resolved. Glass is headlight glass. And is it all thin? Is it all thin? Or isn't it? It definitely does look like it. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be some refraction. I have a feeling there is supposed to be some refraction on some of these pieces. So we'll kind of need to separate these. Okay, that's a little bit more work for us to do. So we need to separate pieces that were supposed to be thin, like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. How about these? Are they supposed to be thin? Are they single? Oh, they are. So these as well. And this, and this. Okay, I think I got them all, so just detach it as glass, lights, thin. Get back to our scene, and it's not parented to our car, so let's just quickly fix that. Okay. And let's create a thin glass. So let's call this glass clear thin, 0 diffuse, 1 click thin. My god, that is easy. And that's it. Really, it looks a bit kind of dull, to be honest. And that's because I think it's missing the internal reflections. So let's actually not make it completely thin. Let's disable the thin, rename the glass to just glass clear, and let's just throw a little bit of shell modifier on top of everything. This is 1 centimeter, we want 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter of glass everywhere. Now there's a slight bit of refraction going on the edges, and there's that internal reflection that we've been missing. If I go back, yeah, now we have a bit more of that glint. The glass doesn't look so dull anymore. Just checking out the headlights. The chrome, as we expected, works, I guess. And therefore we didn't need really to detach it, but well, I already did it, so yeah. What is this? This is black metal painted. But this is definitely not black metal. This should be chrome. So there was a mistake. Let's detach this. And make sure there's nothing else that should be maybe... Oh, I think not. Okay, now let's get glass, put it here. Let's make this chrome. Ah, there they are. Now they light up. Let's get our actual chrome from the car, isolate this, and let's attach it to the chrome where it belongs. There we go. That's better. Let's just check out this slide again. I want to make sure this is... It doesn't look perfectly same. It's less detailed than the real one, but there's something nice going on inside, so I guess that will do. Let's save our scene, because I have OCD to do that. And let's proceed to our next material, glass. Rim dark, what is that? Those are rims. How do they look? I can't tell perfectly, but it does look a bit shiny, like some coated black paint. So let's grab this, our silver base and our fall off, duplicate it, so we are keeping only the mirror. Let's make this dark rims base, and let's call it just dark rims, and just let's just make it like something that I kind of assumed there would be. So something like some interesting material going on in there. We have that sharp light as well as that darker highlight under. Okay, this is starting to get nicely together. Save our scene again. I should really stop doing that because it's just wasting our time. Okay, rims dark, red glass. Okay, select by material. For some reason it's not working, but hey. Okay, create a material, glass red, assign it 0 diffuse, 1 reflection, 1 refraction. Now, is this thick or isn't it thick? It does not look thick, so let's add shell, 1 millimeter as previously. And let's make this glass red. So let's see how does this look. It looks red, but it doesn't look red enough. Oh, that looks red. That looks red. All right, that actually doesn't look bad. So I guess I was actually right about that. Yeah, that looks like something we're getting. In there. Yep. And there's other light. It does seem to have some tint too, like this purple kind of tint. I can't really put my finger on it though, so we have to put in something just by eye, I guess. All right, so our red glass will go where the other glass is, right here. This goes away. It says it's still assigned on something. That's weird. But it's not in a scene, so let's just get rid of it. D glass. This is this one, I suppose. If I pick it. No, that's VD glass. Okay. VD glass. Let's see what that is about. Let's bring it with us here. And as I said, let's try to just put something random good looking on it. So does it have thickness? It doesn't. Put in 1 millimeter shell. Glass. VD stands maybe for very dark, so let's just say very dark. And I did see some like more purple color, so let's just like 250, 240, just decrease saturation, but let's make it a bit more opaque. We are getting to a really small decimal values here. Okay, let's see how this looks. Yep. I would say that looks right. So this is Porsche. This is the sign. Oh, it's chrome, so that's why it appeared so dark. Okay. Saving again. I shouldn't have done that, I know, but it's just reflex. Oh my god. I'm gonna cut these out, I promise. Okay, we're almost there. We have left just these 4 little materials. So what is D-glass? What's it? Oh, it's Windows glass, of course. So again, it has no thickness, obviously. So let's put that shell on it. Let's check out how it looks. It doesn't seem to have really tinted glass, it's just darker, but there's not like that UV filter green or cyan hue, so just let's work with that. Glass windows, 0 diffuse, 1, 1. I love how easy it is in Corona. And exit isolation. Okay, so this is like super clear glass, obviously, and that's not what we have on our pictures. So let's try like 180. Oh, this is reflection. I'm completely stupid. This is refraction. 180. Yeah, just some darker tint in there. I see something weird going on. I'm just going to quickly make sure our normals facing all the right direction. But it seems they are, so maybe I was just... Yeah, I know what it is. It's second refraction. Okay. I actually think that, or I know that the rear windows usually are darker because driver windows have some limits on how much they can be tinted. So we are going to go back here and make this ID2, make this ID1. We are gonna grab Corona multi-map, set these to 2 material IDs, and plug this into refraction color. And color 1 is going to be 200, 220. Color 2 is going to be 180. Oh, okay. The issue I'm seeing here is because it doesn't have shell yet. There we go. So these front ones are not as tinted as those rear ones. That looks more reasonable. Okay, great. So that's Windows. I saved again. 3ds Max, after some years of experience, makes you quite paranoid when it comes to stability. D-glass, that's resolved. R lights, resolved. Gum. So this is dark rubber, I suppose. Let's just check our references. Looks more like some sort of dark plastic. Oh, it's just some dark generic glossy material. Okay. Plastic, dark, 16, let's say. It's a bit shinier. Yeah, I guess that's really all there is to it. No, that's a bit too shiny. Okay, this is plastic material, so it goes where other plastic type materials reside, over here. And what is this? Milk glass means frosted glass. And that is on these over here. Let's just quickly check how that looks. Oh, it's really indeed a slightly foggy type of glass. So let's do that. Is there something behind it? Like some chrome that would reflect it back? I don't think so. So let's see if we make frosted glass, if it actually does something. So glass, frosted. Okay, this has turned a bit dark as I supposed. So if we set glossiness to 0.7, refraction glossiness to 0.5. It doesn't really change as I expected, but then again, I guess we can just keep it that way because it looks nice. And that is really to it. We've just shaded this car. Maybe the red is red on the red glass. It's a bit too saturated for my taste. We are going to add some more contrast in post-process, so we do not want it overdone right in the shader. Okay, saving again, of course, because this is it. This is our shaded car. Everything looks nice. It has those nice flakes. Let's just do a quick render with the region. I want to see how those flakes looks when they converge. Yep, looks nice. These look a bit like fireflies. I'll have to do something about that. So let's just go to the car paint. Let's just increase filtering. That should take care of them. Yep, that took care of the problem. Okay, so now we have our car asset shaded and ready for the integration. So I'll see you in the next part where we will take a look at the CG integration itself. So see you then.